Hi, this is Ranger Skyler, and welcome to another Ranger Friday. Last week, we learned what invasive organisms are and how they are harmful to us and the areas that they are introduced to. This Friday, we will be talking about how invasive organisms spread and what we can do to prevent them from spreading further. The ways organisms use to move and spread are called pathways. There are three main pathways that invasive organisms use to spread to new areas. They can either spread through wind dispersal, emigration, or hitchhiking. Wind dispersal is a way of spreading that mostly insects and plants use. That is where seeds or larvae are blown into new areas by the wind. Emigration is the movement of an organism from a native area to a foreign area. Unfortunately, humans tend to be the cause of immigrating invasive organisms, whether we mean to or not. Many times, invasive organisms are spread with good intentions, but in the long run, they tend to become harmful to the areas that they're released to. This could be as simple as sharing a plant that grew well in your yard with a neighbor, or releasing a live pet or bait into the wild because you think it's the humane or right thing to do. These good intentions can be especially harmful if the invasive plant or animal has a competitive advantage over other native species in the area. The continent of Australia has a very big problem with rabbits now because one person decided to release a couple into the wild. Since then, the invasive rabbit population has grown out of control, and over the years have destroyed hundreds of thousands of acres of native plant life in Australia. When invasive species attach to other animals and use their movement from place to place to spread, we call that hitchhiking. Hitchhiking is the way the invasive species called quagga mussels first infested Lake Powell. When people use their boats in quagga-infested waters, mussels can then attach to their boats, and when those boaters go to a new body of water, those mussels can then lay their eggs in that new lake or river. So, we've just learned three ways in which invasive organisms spread. Those ways are wind dispersal, emigration, and hitchhiking. But there are things that we can do to help prevent invasive species from spreading even further. First of all, never ever release live pets or live bait into the wild. If you like camping or spending time near a fire, always make sure you're using firewood from a local source. Firewood brought from other areas may be carrying invasive insects or plant diseases that can spread to surrounding plants. Before leaving a campsite, make sure to check any equipment used and remove any plants, insects, or animals that you find. If you are boating, make sure that your boat and any equipment are clean of any mud, sand, or plant material before you leave. And always make sure that your boat is completely dry before launching in any other bodies of water like lakes or rivers. By following these simple rules, you can stop the spread of invasive species and help save ecosystems in our country and around the world. Thanks for joining me this Ranger Friday. I've had so much fun teaching you everything that I know about nature. And if you ever have any other questions, Feel free to visit any visitor center at any national park and talk to a ranger there, and they'll be able to answer all your questions. This is Ranger Skyler signing off, and have a great summer.